Here you see.
Poopity scoop, poopity scoop, poopity scoop, scoop whoop.
Scoop.
Welcome to the Kanye Quest, a weekly show that goes over Kanye West's discography. Each week we cover a Kanye West album. We talk about it. We rank it compared to other Kanye West albums. We give the notable history, if there's any, to be talked about. And we also do a little thing at the beginning called the Kanye Quest that originally was D&D, but now it's just more Kanye fan fiction, a Kanye story arc that our boy Trevor over here is writing. And
it's not that good.
Without further ado, this week we're talking about Cruel Summer, but before we talk about Cruel Summer, we have to get into the Kanye Quest.
All right, close your eyes.
Okay.
It has been 2 weeks since your encounter with Jay-Z. He traveled alongside you and Kanye for a couple days, hunting, fishing, fighting, and gathering. You miss the company sometimes. Over that time, however, you notice the trees beginning to lose their leaves. The air now bites your face as the evening sets in. Every morning when you wake, your first breath feels agonizing. Kanye begins to travel with a fur coat on, and you don't have the courage to ask him if it's real or not. After many plains, forests, and fields, you find yourself face to face with a rushing river. There's snow all around the ground, and chunks of ice flow across the water at high speeds. At the other side is a gaping cave. There are shards of ice and rock sticking out from the sides and from the ground. "We're here," says Kanye, motioning towards the cave. He wants you to cross the river to get to the jagged cave. It is a cruel winter indeed.
I thought it was summer.
Cruel summer, cruel summer.
Okay. Cruel Summer is Kanye's...
Cruel winter.
Cruel Winter is the next one.
No, this is Cruel Winter.
This is Cruel Winter.
I'm just thinking.
Just thinking out loud here.
Cruel Winter is supposed to come out, but it never will.
You know what are the singles for that album? The remix of Panda and Champions, where everyone gets on Kanye West's stage. All the features get on Kanye West's floating stage, and then it collapses. All 8 of the features. So Gucci Mane, designer. There's 2 designers.
The 97 Lakers.
The 97 LA Lakers, who have the gospel vocals on that show. The gospel sample. Well, Cruel Summer is Kanye West's next album following Watch the Throne, which was following My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and it was right after. Like, Kanye's just hitting punch after punch after punch with these records. And My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, we talked about it. It was his best album in our opinion, whereas Watch the Throne was just kind of confused on what it was. It was grand, but it seemed kind of almost like B-sides to like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. But at the same time, it was just like confused thematically wise as what it was going to be. I don't think the two figures was clashing heads, Jay-Z and Kanye, but I think they were just like, it was hard to almost like for them to both give depth, and there were so many features thrown into the mix that it was almost hard to figure out whose album it was. It was a very Kanye heavy album on a collaborative Kanye Jay-Z project, which is not necessarily a bad thing, except for narratively. I think the flow of the album was thrown off by that. This next album, Cruel Summer, it's essentially going back to Kanye's mixtape days in a sense. It's a mix of everyone on the Good Music label, which Kanye started right after College Dropout, and it's basically all the Good Music artists that were around at the time. So Tiana Taylor, still around, Pusha T, who's now the president of Good Music, Kid Cudi, Sci-Hi the Prince, who was just recently signed at that point. And I think that's it. I don't think... Oh, and Mos Def, who was going under Malik Yusef. And my computer's going off for some fucking reason because it's giving me notifications about some dumb shit. But this compilation, this album, brings me back to Kanye's mixtape days because it's just so many artists in this limited space. And Kanye's name's on it. Kanye West's name is on it. Kanye West Presents. But it isn't really a Kanye project, and I don't think any of his performances that are on here are super noteworthy. Which is weak. I think even when we go back to Kanye's mixtape days, Can't Tell Me Nothing's the best example of this. His performances were super noteworthy on that album. We go back to Get Well Soon and I'm Good. His performances on there, he was trying to prove himself as a rapper, so his performances have to be good. You have moments like Through the Wire and I'm Good, which are so fantastic on those two projects, whereas this, like, it's very modern day Kanye. It's very like egotistical Kanye, but this isn't like album Kanye either, where I think Kanye, he may talk shit before promotion of the album, which we're hearing right now, which is something we're going through right now at the process, where he's just going through so much random shit, so many random thoughts, so many random ideas, he's just tweeting it out. It's almost like promotional Kanye, whereas album Kanye delivers. We saw this especially 2 years ago with Life Pablo, where there's just so much shit was being thrown at us, but in the end, the album was good. So yeah, I think this album is just like very laid back Kanye and just a ton of features, ton of promotion, and I really don't think it's good. Like, I think moments like Clique and Mercy are super hype, but honestly, I think they're kind of forgettable as Kanye singles. I think Clique, just with the Big Sean beginning, just kind of just slows it down before it even has the chance to start. Jay-Z and Kanye have like okay verses on it, but overall it's just not super memorable. Mercy is pretty much the same thing, except I think 2 Chainz actually delivers at the 2 Chainz and Pusha T at the tail end deliver a lot.
Oh yeah.
But Big Sean also starts off again. Who let Big Sean go first? Who decided that? Like, Big Sean,
they drew straws at the beginning.
Big Sean goes dead last or not
lucky.
At all.
He's just lucky.
You should just not go. But I think the only like nowhere, like, if you have to listen to this album and you can only pick like one moment, I say New God Flow with Kanye, Pusha, Ghostface. It's more of a Pusha track than anything else.
It's a lot of fun, though.
It's a lot of fun. Everyone delivers good performances. It also samples that Ghostface Killer moment, "Shake that body, party,
that party,"
which Kanye would later go sample in No More Parties in LA on Life Pablo. Pusha just, it shows why his worth. It shows why Kanye signed him. It showed him why he was able to separate himself from Clips and became a solo star. And it shows why he's now the president of good music. So he has a lot of talent. But other than that, like, there's no other like moments I think are worthwhile to talk about here. I like the track Creepers with Kid Cudi. It reminds me a lot of Man on the Moon too, but it's also not one of Cudi's best tracks or better tracks. It's kind of like the phase before Indie Cud. It's the phase before he went like full stupid, just like complete bad, like complete garbage. Yeah. And then he lost himself, and now he's finally coming out of the pit with some demon ways. Is Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying. Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying. But overall, I don't think there's much to talk about here. I think Cold is just with DJ Khaled. Kanye is just over this super ass generic beat produced by Hit Boy, and it's so forgettable. It has DJ Khaled on it, which I don't understand. Like, that fucking confused me. Like, why is that?
I don't make the rules here.
And any other moments like Bliss with John Legend, Tiana Taylor is just so forgettable. Like, a lot of these moments are just super, super, super forgettable, and like, I don't even think there's a real purpose to talk about it. Travis Scott shows up on Sin City with John Legend, Tiana Taylor, Saya the Prince, and Malik Yusef, but I think Mos Def's performance is the best out of anyone. But like, I don't think there's really any point to like a lot of these tracks existing. So yeah, I don't really care for this as like an album, as a compilation. It just was a lot of boring stuff. And it brought me back to the mixtape days where there was a lot of material that was not Kanye, and it was just Kanye produced singles. But it wasn't as good as even that, I would say, because there was only one track that I really took away that I really enjoyed, and two singles that I really thought were kind of meh overall. This is just it's not good, and I don't think it's noteworthy in Kanye's discography. And it's noteworthy to even really talk about that much, except for it was right after 2 albums, one which was fantastic and his best album, and one that was like he was beginning to go on the decline and he needed to take a break. So yeah, this is one of the worst Kanye albums or worst Kanye projects where to rank it though, it's definitely below Watch the Throne, and I definitely like Can't Tell Me Nothing way better, because Can't Tell Me Nothing has Us Placers, it has Don't Forget Us with Consequence, it has Can't Tell Me Nothing, it has Young Folks, a bunch of good tracks on there that I actually listen to a lot. I don't know. I think it's below I'm Good, but it's equal to Get Well Soon. Because I'm Good has a couple good moments, and it also has a compilation from Jay-Z of the best moments from Blueprint. So
I think that's fair enough, because like in All Honesty, you're right. There is only like one
good track.
Yeah, good or takeaway track from here, New God Flow. And I would even say like this is kind of like I would almost consider it like a pre-track to No More Parties. Like listen to that first, and then
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's like the biggest takeaway I have from this. I am curious to see what Cruel Winter will look like if it ever comes out.
I don't think it will.
And
because I think we're gonna
Cruel Autumn.
Actually, no. If we get Replication, because then we're getting a Kanye album in June. We're getting a Kid Cudi Kanye album the week later, and then if it follows the same pattern, we get. Like this was, we had Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and then the collaboration, so maybe it'll follow through. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Pattern wise.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I guess we'll see if it ever happens.
Because I think that's more of like a Pusha T has to get everyone together type deal. I would be interested.
It'd just be Pusha T presents Good Music, Cruel Winter.
I think that'd be interesting, because then we would have to have a Francis track, and I'm curious to see how the fuck that would play out. But yeah. I think, again, not one of Kanye's most notable work, probably Kanye's least notable work, because Get Well Soon had a ton of history to it, and it's not the most interesting listen, but it's good from a historical precedent. This just doesn't have any history to it. It's just it's boring. I'm gonna leave it there.